This is the day the Lord hath made, let us rejoice. Sunday morning, here we are, coming together from near and far. We're unity, and that's the way it should be. I've got family waiting for me every Sunday, and I'm glad to see we're unity, and that's the way it should be. My, we're so happy it's Sunday. This is our very own Unity Day. We're here where we belong with all of our family. We're unity, that's the way it should be. The sun is shining and I am too. I feel so happy, how about you? We're unity, that's the way it should be. We're so grateful that love abounds with our brothers and sisters all around. We're unity, that's the way it should be. My, we're so happy it's Sunday. It's our very own Unity Day. We're here where we belong with all of our family. We're unity, and that's the way it should be. We're unity, and that's the way it should be.
Good morning. Everybody's just all nice and perky now after Jim's great song. We're unity, and that is the way it should be. Yes. So, first of all, if you have a device called a telephone with you, let's maybe put it on airplane mode or silent your ringer or notifications, and so we don't get interrupted at a most inopportune moment. We appreciate that. So good morning to, of course, this great crowd that we have here in the room. Good morning to everyone that's on Zoom. And also a good day to you that is watching this on YouTube later on and not live while we're all here together. If you like what you see, 501 Nelson Street, London, Ontario, Canada, it's worth the trip to London. Okay, so what's next? Oh, there we go. Welcome home. So we often call this our spiritual home. And what kind of things do we find in our home? Well, we find love, joy, kindness, curiosity, which causes growth. People that are self-expressing, like our lovely Paula's here today with her beautiful hat. It's so nice to have you back today, Paula. We've missed you. Making connections and transformations, evolving peace. And unity is a positive path to spiritual living. And if you're a first-timer, we hope you enjoy us and come back and join us again. We have 5 basic unity principles, and let's affirm them all together rather than just me. Number 1, God is good. Sorry. I got to go to bigger print. God is all good and active in everything, everywhere. Number 2, I am naturally good because God's divinity is in me and in everyone. Number 3, I create my experiences by what I choose to think and what I feel and believe. Number 4, through affirmative prayer and meditation, I connect with God and bring out the good in my life. And number 5, I do and give my best by living the truth I know. I make a difference. You do. Every day, every moment. So by inspiring people to make a positive change and a positive difference in the world, we can all be the change that we'd like to see. Doesn't always happen as quickly as we'd like, but it's happening right now. And by coexisting together, we can provide fellowship and education for spiritual seekers of all walks of life. You don't have to be any one thing other than nice to us. That is kind of important. We want people to come that are nice to us, and they are nice to us because we're nice to them. Today we have prayer chaplains, of course, available to pray, give individual one-on-one prayer. Here in the building, it would be myself, and you'll find me by the orange steps or in the prayer room, which is behind the screen. And online, we have our wonderful Wilda that will pray with anyone online. Geez, Jim, you're up again. Already? That's the way it should be.
Someone asked me on Wednesday night at our concert, because I usually do mention at some point in there about unity, if you're looking for a nice place to come and share some fellowship with a nice bunch of people on Sunday, come join us. And somebody after the thing said, it's like, what really goes on there? And this is apropos to what Sylvia said. I said, it's just happy people being nice to each other. So Sylvia was right. It was right on the line for you. Anyway, this is a tune that we've all heard before. You've heard before. When Carl and I were the music team here, we did this tune a lot. And I was just going through my book the other day, and I saw it, and I thought, oh, we haven't done that for a long time. We should do it again. So you know the words, just jump right in wherever you like. Well, there was just one presence, just one light, shining in the world like a beacon in the night. There was just one power we all can share, one great power everywhere. One great power, one great love, big as the ocean and the skies up above. One great spirit waiting in prayer, one great power everywhere. There is one great power everywhere. There's just one purpose, just one spark, burning in our souls like a candle in the dark. Just one chorus we all can sing. One great power, let it ring. Everybody. There's one great power, one great love, big as the ocean and the stars up above. One great spirit waiting in prayer. One great power everywhere. There is a one great power everywhere. Here we go. Well, there is one great power, one great love, one great power, one great love, one great power, one great love, one great power, one great love. Well, there's one great power everywhere. Just one presence, just one light, shining in the world like a beacon in the night. Just one power we all can share, one great power everywhere. Well, there was one great power and one great love, big as the ocean and the skies up above. One great spirit waiting in prayer, one great power everywhere. One great power, we're gonna do this together. Well, there is one great power, one great love, big as the ocean and the skies up above. One great power waiting in prayer, one great power everywhere. Yeah, there's one great power everywhere. There's one great power everywhere. Nice job of singing, folks.
Another fine song. Written by Mr. Jim Chapman, I believe. No, it's not. Oh.
I don't know who wrote it. I tried to find out. I had it in my book, but I don't think it was me.
Well, it's been revived by Jim Chapman. Those songs that were written so long ago nobody remembers, and they're revived by somebody. Prayer. We have a prayer box at the front. Pretty much everybody in the room knows that. But if you're watching online and you're not familiar, we have a prayer box at the front. And if you would like to put a name in that prayer box, yourself or someone that you love, or maybe somebody you're having a bit of a challenge with loving, feel free to send us their name and we will put it into the prayer box for you. Because those people are prayed over here for at least 30 days here at Unity of London, and then sent down to Unity Worldwide at where Silent Unity is, and they get another 30 days of prayer. So maybe we'll all put our names in there today. And this month we're holding Unity Spiritual Center Hamilton and Unity Worldwide Ministries in our prayer. So let's get prepared for some prayer. So I invite you to become very comfortable in your chair, but not too. And as you take a nice deep breath in, know that you're breathing in life force, full of love, full of life. And as you exhale, let go of all that no longer serves you, or anything you're holding on to or thinking about that doesn't matter at this moment. Just be here and now together. Imagining all our hearts beating together, one at a time, all in unison. And we imagine all the hearts of the world beating with ours. In our prayer circle today, we hold all spiritual gatherings that are happening, for we know there are many paths to the one and only God. We hold all of our Unity of London members, our friends and families that are connected with us, and anyone else that their name is whispered into the space at this moment. And today, as we pray, let us imagine us all in a great big circle with the globe in between us. And joining us are all the other people that believe as we do. All the people that truly believe that love is the answer to all. All of us that do believe that we can live in peace and harmony and still be abundant. And we see many of those souls gathering, connecting, meditating, and praying together. And then we see the people that are not in our circle holding hands, but within the circle. And they can't help feel our love. For if enough people come together and pray that we see peace, we will see peace. If enough people pray together that we see transformation, where everyone has a home and a full belly and clothes on their backs and love, we can realize it because we believe in the power of love and the power of prayer. And together, we do make a difference. Thank you, sweet Spirit, for making this happen for us right at this very moment. Movement is happening, and we are grateful. And so it is, and so we let it be. All people. And now we have our wonderful platform leader coming up to read today's daily word. Guess who? Nancy. Yay, Nancy.
Valuable. As a divine being, I am valuable and irreplaceable. Each person is a spiritual being made in the image and likeness of God, blessed with a variety of spiritual gifts we share in different ways. The world needs unique contributions. When I see myself this way, I become newly aware of my value as a member of the human family, more confident in myself as I shine the light of God as only I can. Living in the awareness of my value helps others see it too. I leave behind critical or negative opinions I may have held about myself and treat myself as the divine being I am. Like a beautiful gemstone, I too am a precious jewel among so many others. Together we sparkle and shine. From Genesis chapter 1, verse 27. So God created humankind in his image. In the image of God, they created them, male and female. He created them. Our speaker, no stranger, Pauline, our licensed Unity teacher and wonderful speaker.
Morning, everyone. Morning. Welcome to Unity of London, whether you're here in person or online. This week I came across a book that totally transformed what I was going to talk about. Not totally. It is about knocking on the door and the door opening. But before we even get to the door, we need to go through the hallway. And the person whose book I read is no stranger to you who have been studying books in Unity. Reverend Ellen Davenport, who used to be a news reporter and decided to leave that occupation and become a Unity minister. She had to go through some chagrin and some complaints from her family and friends who said, "What are you doing? You're giving up a good job and going into ministry?" But she progressed. And the book that she wrote is called Hell in the Hallway. Light at the door. And some of you are sort of chuckling and saying, "Oh yes, that's a good title." Why is it good? Because we have all of us, not one single person in this room escapes hell in the hallway. A couple of her friends said, "Well, why are you calling it hell?" And she said, "You can call it anything you want." If you think going through transition and recovery and all the horrors of trying to change is okay and fine, and you just rise above it, you don't need this book. The hell in the hallway happens every time we're faced with a change. And that could be health, relationships, money. Those are three main areas. And sometimes the change is something within ourselves. If we suddenly develop an illness, our normal response is, "Why me? I didn't do anything to deserve this illness." Or if suddenly we're bankrupt, or we just don't have enough money, or a relationship goes kaput. Those are all instances of hell in the hallway. And her message has a lot to do with dealing with our feelings. And one part that she wrote that I thought was so pertinent was, and I better read it because I want it to be precise as she said it. Burying feelings in spirituality is no different than distracting ourselves with busyness or addictions or keeping a stiff upper lip. I thought, woo, that's insightful. Burying ourselves in spirituality. In other words, she's saying, if you feel like screaming, scream. If people are saying all the platitudes, and I thought, oh dear, I've said some of these platitudes. God doesn't give you anything you can't handle. You know it. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Everything happens for a reason. So you know the platitudes, and I know the platitudes. And when you were in the midst of that hell in the hallway, who wants to hear the platitude? My cousin who lives in Canada called me. I nearly fell off the chair because she never does that. She's the one who sleeps all night and, no, sorry. She's up all night and sleeps in the daytime, but she phoned me. And I said to her, I know that you had been sick, but what was the problem? Well, she talked for an hour and a half. And she needed somebody to just listen. She needed me to listen without saying all of those platitudes I just mentioned. Without saying, oh, Judy, you're strong, you can get over it. That's a gift that sometimes we forget to give. And sometimes our very positivity can drive people crazy. They're saying, I'm going through hell here. Why are you telling me all these positive things? Just listen. Let me feel sorry for myself in this moment. Yeah. Without you picking me up. I said to Dan, everybody should read this book. And he said, well, Pauline, what's so special about this book? You talked about lean forward. I said, it's so real. It is so real because every one of us finds ourselves in hallways. And sometimes we stay in that hallway for years. I know I did. Why didn't I go and find a way out? Fear. Or I had created a little haven in my hallway. False comfort. There are lots of reasons that we stay in the hallway. And she talks about some of them. And don't worry, this is not just going to be staying in the hallway. It's going to be a little bit about how to get out. The work of the hallway is to shift our thinking from victim to volunteer. From, why did this happen to me? To, why did this happen for me? You might say, gee, she's saying that all these horrible things in the hallway, this sickness, this accident that just demoralized me, that I didn't ask for, you're saying, why did it happen for me? She interviewed a lot of people in this book. And one of the people that she interviewed was a pilot called Charlie Plumb. Charlie Plumb was a fighter pilot who was shot down, put into a prison cell 8 foot by 8 foot for 6 years. Can you imagine? And he was asked about his experience. Now that for sure is hell in the hallway, a little skinny hallway. And he said, it's a shame to waste adversity. Adversity is a gift specially designed for us. You're saying, well, I'd pass on that gift, thank you very much. But do you know what? It's there. It's there. And all of our struggle and all of our agony to get out makes it worse. It is a sign of spiritual maturity to remember that our lives are always in process and at any given moment propelling us toward greater good, even in that hallway. Letting go. If you are in a hallway right now, a horrible hallway, a moment might occur when you stop, lingering in the past, and also stop projecting into the future, when you release all thoughts of how things ought to be or how they might turn out, and simply experience things the way they are. You release your resistance. Is that hard? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. You release your resistance and staying present in the moment. And that eases your suffering just a little. That is surrender. There's a paradox. We are creating our experiences or attracting events for specific reasons. And you think, I didn't attract this illness. Don't tell me that. If we believe, and I'm not saying you have to, but if you believe that you chose your life here with everything involved, or that your suffering is a gift designed specially for you, then you will also believe that out of that suffering is coming something. Maybe a greater awareness. Maybe a shift in your consciousness toward the presence of the divine. Accept what's happened. Accept things the way they are, while also accepting your power and responsibility to design a way forward. Acceptance and surrender, turning points in the hallway. Alter the consciousness of your suffering means peace of mind. And she talks so much about forgiveness being crucial to moving through the hallway. And I thought, when I think of forgiveness, I think of forgiving people that I thought hurt me. But this is how she defines the key to forgiveness. Stop insisting on what ought to have happened. Stop making up stories of how your life should have been different. Have you ever done that? Whoa, of course. I shouldn't have had that kind of parent. I should have had this kind of parent. I shouldn't have been in that accident. I should be home, free, full, and healthy. All the shoulds and all the woulds and all the coulds. Letting them go. What it takes to leave the hallway. Acknowledge you're in the hallway. Yup, here I am in this horrible, nasty hallway. Ugh. Ah! Whatever you need to do, recognize it. And if you want to scream or beat the wall, do it. Those are feelings that you're entitled to. And the fact that you're a spiritual being does not mean you have no feelings. It means you're human as well as spiritual. Let go of anxiety, frustration, panic, and judgment. However you can. Trust your light will shine. And I love the fact, loved the fact that Jim was talking about light today. Because even in the hallway, there is light. So, a lamp on a stand. I was going to bring a flashlight, and I thought, no, I'm not going to bring props. Just picture a lamp on a stand in that dark hallway. Could be a teeny little nightlight in your hallway. No one lights a lamp and hides it in a clay jar or puts it under a bed. Or do we? Instead, they put it on a stand so that those who come in can see the light. For there's nothing hidden that will not be disclosed, and nothing concealed that will not be known or brought out into the open. Therefore, consider carefully how you listen. How you listen, I would say, to your own words. How you listen to yourself in your hallway. What are you saying? Or screaming, or thinking, or feeling? And in her book, it's an amazing book. I hope all of you will find a way to read it. Near the end, she summarizes with a few reminders. Accept the hallway. Don't resist it. This is happening for you somehow. As soon as you can love your life the way it is and be grateful just to be alive, you will be moving out of your hallway. No matter how painful or unexpected, this experience eventually will yield gifts you could not have imagined or received in any other way. This next one is really good. Don't demand to see physical progress. You will feel better first. That's evident of a shift in consciousness. You might sense that your time in darkness is ending. But don't check every 15 minutes for an open door, like digging up a seed to see whether it has sprouted. Every time you ask, where is it? Where is that door? Where's the door? You're focusing on what is missing. Instead, keep your eye on where you are going. Having launched your desires, and you attach those to feelings, how do I want to feel? I want to feel whole. I want to feel peaceful. I want to feel full of love. I want to feel strong. Whatever feelings you want to feel, focus on those feelings. That's a shift in consciousness. Unless you're so attached to the hallway that you just want to stay there and feel like a victim. And there are benefits for staying in the hallway. I'm not even going to go into those. Don't lose faith. And don't settle. A temporary solution is not the same as settling. A temporary solution might be, oh, I'll try that door. And then you try that door and you think, ooh, that was the wrong door. I'm in a worse hallway than I was in before. Yucker. The universe may be arranging the players and events to make dreams come true. Give it time. You'll be glad you waited. And finally, keep creating conditions for manifestation. Remember, the spiritual work of the hallway is an inside job. That's the prayer, the meditation, the visualizing, maybe going for a walk in the park, being with people who will listen to you and refrain from all those nasty platitudes I told you about. Ask for divine help. Know you are loved and worthy of it all. And I'd like to conclude with the most beautiful, beautiful message from Rhona Detrick in part 3 called Opening the Door. One day, you will find your heart's healing. One day you will look up instead of down. One day you will sleep more deeply. One day you will breathe more slowly. One day you'll know more laughter than tears. One day faith will sustain. One day hope will return. One day love will beckon. One day you will know. And on that day, probably when you least expect it, you will see it. The door before you. and you will be ready. You will step forward, reach out, turn the knob, and step right through into the light, into the open, into the new. Head held high, shoulders back, radiating the glory that is you when fully alive, fully aware, with a tender and ferocious heart that is raw but strong. From Revelations 3:8, look, I've set before you an open door which no one is able to shut. Remember the light. Let us now go into meditation. If you feel comfortable, close your eyes. Just breathe in. Breathe in the moment. Breathe in the love. Breathe in the positive energy. Breathe in the awareness that you are loved, that you are worthy, that divine presence shines through you, that the heaven here on earth is God's presence in you, always. Always God's presence in you. And for the next few moments, sit quietly, breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in, breathing out. Enjoying the stillness. Enjoying your deliberate, conscious connection with divine presence. May we see gifts in our hallway. May we be open to receiving those gifts. And may we design the best and perfect way to find the light in the door. And so it is, and so we let it be.
Well, Pauline, thank you so much for a very real message, because you're absolutely right. There's not anyone in the room or anyone listening to this later on that has not been in the hallway. And at some point in the middle of that hallway time, we wonder if we can ever find a door. We think that we're going to get shoved down a laundry chute, end up in the dirty laundry instead of opening a door that brings us a greater life. But with greater understanding, it does lead to the time in the hallway. You're right, I would agree with you that it is a gift. And the sooner we look at it as a gift, the sooner we realize that. I had a vision while we were meditating of a hallway filled with wrapped up packages. So next time you find yourself in the hallway, maybe take a look at what packages might be there and unwrap your gift. Thank you again. Great message. And now it's time for Jimmy again.
Well, Pauline, you did it again. I've commented before, and I think Pauline is becoming my muse, because every time she speaks, I come away with a new idea for a song, and I was sitting there, and on the back of the, I have to make a donation to Unity to buy some more envelopes, because I keep writing things down on the back of the envelopes. I have a little notebook up here that I got to do that. I always forget to get it back. There's a song in here, a new one from today, so thank you again. Pauline sent me a note this week about, as she often does, well, she always does, and said, here's what I will be speaking about, just so you know. And as often happens, and I've talked about this before too, that writing songs is two ways to do it. One is the job, you sit down and say, I need to write a song about this, and you do it, and I've done that a lot in my life. Did a lot of jingle writing at one time, and that's what you do, you sit down and write. And the other way is that it falls from heaven into your head. And this tune here, after Pauline sent me her note, said this is what I'll be speaking about, I went and looked up the book, because I wanted to see if I could get any more insights. I didn't read the book, but I read a number of reviews, and they can often give you a sense of what the book is about. So anyway, for good or ill, having done that, as I was reading the reviews, this line popped into my head, and the line was very simple. There's a bright light ahead, and it shines for me. And I thought, And so I sat down, and it's the same thing. Sometimes they just manifest themselves, and 20 minutes later, here we have this. There's a bright light ahead, and it shines for me. I was lost in the dark and down, but now I'm free. And there's a bright light ahead, and it shines for me. There are days and weeks, and longer too, when our paths unclear, we see no way through. Times are bad, that's all we know, and it isn't clear which way to go. We don't want to fight, we're afraid we'll lose, but the choice is ours, but we have to choose. Feel the darkness, just sit tight or get up and get moving till you see the light. There's a bright light ahead, shines for me. I was lost in the dark and out, but now I'm free. There's a bright for me. Oh, there's a bright light ahead and it shines for me. I was lost in the dark and out, but now I'm free. 'Cause there's a bright light ahead and it shines for me. There's a bright light ahead and it shines for me. A bright light for all.
Another great song by Jim Chapman. And God. So now we come to the time where we thank. Drawing a blank, yes. Where we thank those who have shared their time and their time and their talents during the week, but also their treasures. And if you have not shared some of your treasures this week, the ladies have the offering bags that they will pass around. Remember, if you don't have anything for it, please hold your hand over it and think prosperity for yourself and for unity. Do, 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 do. And while we're waiting, I'll just do a reminder, or for anybody that's watching online, if you'd like to give us a gift and increase your abundance by sharing it, you can send us a check. Yep, checks are still good, folks. I know some young people go, check, what's that? We have a debit machine that takes MasterCard and Visa and debit, and you can log into Tidely, and of course you can e-transfer to unityoflondon@hotmail.com. And whenever you email to unityoflondon@hotmail.com some money, please put in the notes what it's for, whether it's your tithe, your gift, or if you're taking a class or whatever else might be going on. But now that the ladies are here, we'll move on to bless our offering. Thank you, Lorraine. So together we say, divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. Thank you, ladies. And our announcements. Da, 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 da. I now have one that I don't have a slide here for. There is only one copy of Daily Word left for July and August. So as a special announcement, we are now out of July, August Daily Words. If you'd like another copy, you'll just have to wait for September, October's issue. Thanks, Marianne. Or go online, that's right. You can see the Daily Word every day online. A last reminder about a new book study. So if you would like to join the group on Tuesdays at 9:30 a.m., they are using the Zoom link from that we use on Sundays, and the book is How to Pray Without Talking to God. A great time can be had by all that has the time and would like to do that. And I believe we do still have some books in the bookstore. So a great thing to do on a Tuesday morning at 9:30. Wednesday nights, again, we have great music provided by Jim and his friends, and we all know my friend Chucky's there. Chucky's great. She's here this Wednesday. Jesse Grandmont and Alec Berg. And $10 e-transfer to jimchapman@rogers.com, or just bring a $10 bill and pay at the door. And next week is the Unity of London Fish Group Fellowship, Imagination, Sharing, and Happiness. And remember, we supply, or the ladies that are putting on the fish group, they supply all the supplies. So supplies, you don't need to bring anything, just yourself, and be ready. And now we'll get serious again. And we'll say our prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds me. I am the light. The love of God enfolds me. I am the love. The power of God protects me. I am the power. The presence of God watches over me. I am the presence. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Yay, God. And we'll gather around for our peace song. So if you find yourself in the hallway this week, say thank you and learn your lessons.
Before we break circle, can we stay in a circle? Because we have two very important people. This is one of their last, it is their last Sunday. Catherine and Larry, could we please, and it's a suggestion from our dear Paula, and she even brought the serviettes, to sing Old Lang Syne. Okay, should old acquaintance